I think it's time to have a card selected. If I could employ the help of the gentleman here. Excellent. Very good. Just take any one of those cards. Please take great care in not letting me see the card, of course. Remember it. Show it to everyone at home. Very good. And if you would just drop the card right back in the pack. That's perfect. Now, I'd like you to get a very strong mental picture of your card. First, if you would, think of the color of your card. Excellent. Now think of the suit of your card. Picture that in your mind. Perfect. And if you would now, the value. Terrific. By doing that in that order, of course, I have now gotten a perfect mental picture of what your card is. In fact, let's see. If I just look through the cards here, yes, I'm getting a very strong mental picture. In fact, I get the strongest impression that you chose a black card. It was a club, in fact, the 9 of clubs. Is that correct? No?
No.
I didn't think so. I thank you for your kind attention. I like to call this, "What is he talking about?" Because that will be the expression on your audience's face when you do the next revelation. This uses, of course, a simple key card. In this case, we will use the face card of the pack. I like to do an overhand shuffle when I shuffle these cards. And here's how you do it. Of course, overhand shuffle position is as follows. The cards are resting face down in your left hand. You will now pick them up from underneath with the right hand, and you will be drawing them off a little bit at a time as you shuffle the cards. This is the overhand shuffle. It is a very random looking shuffle. Now, here is a great thing. Once you have caught a glimpse of what this key card is, which is easy as you're shuffling, just look down at this steep angle and you will see it. And just a glance is all it takes. Remember, subtlety is important. Don't take a big long look at the card. You don't need that. As you do your overhand shuffle now, these fingers are going to go against that card and keep it there. This is called the milking action. In other words, you are sliding off that 5 of clubs, keeping it there as you draw cards away and throw them onto the top of the pack in a shuffling procedure. Now make sure that your vision is off to the side as you do this. As you shuffle the cards, you are just keeping that 5 there each time you strip it off with your fingers, holding on to it. Okay, that's the preliminary part of this. After you've given them a couple of quick shuffles, you spread the cards between your hands, ask for the audience to take a card out of the deck. They now do. While they're looking at it, you're going to give one more quick shuffle like this, stripping that card and making sure it's there. Once they have now looked at their card, you say, "I will have you replace the card wherever you like." This time now you're not going to strip that 5 off. You are just going to pick up the entire group of cards, and your thumb draws off a number of cards like this. "You've remembered your card," you ask? "Yes," the audience will reply. And then there is the card, in this case the 8 of hearts. You ask for them to replace the card. They do, and there it goes. You ask for the card to be replaced, and there it goes on top of the pack. You now throw all of these cards, there is your key card, and that goes right on top of the selected card. The cards will seem extremely random and very shuffled to your audience without you having to actually verbally say anything. But remember, my 5 of clubs is right on top of their selected card. I would now proceed as follows. I would look at my audience and ask them first to picture in their mind the color of the card. I pretend to concentrate for just a moment and say, "Excellent." Next, would you think of the suit of your card? Perfect. And now finally, if you would, the value of your card. Excellent. I think now by you thinking of what your card is in that triple procedure, I have a very good picture in my mind of what your card is. I now pick these cards up, holding them toward myself, and all I want to do is catch a glimpse of what their card is. Remember, the selected card will be right in front of my key card. I continue right past, noting what that selected card is. Yes, yes, I have a very good idea, you tell your audience. Now I know the selected card was the 8 of hearts. I just put the cards on the table, pause for a minute. Let me see. Yes, yes, in fact, I do believe there it is. Now I push that card up without the audience seeing it, and I draw it out and place it on the table. Now you are going to miscall the card completely. This will end up with a nice, humorous result. I would say, whatever that card is, I would say, yes. I get a strong impression you chose a black card. It was a club. In fact, I do believe it was a picture card. The King of Clubs? The audience will look at you with complete disbelief and say, no. You now grab the card and say, I didn't think so, and toss it on the table. There, it almost seems as though the card changes, plus it has a nice comedic result as you say, I didn't think so either, and toss it out. Now the part about what I call this card, I just make up. I use a very extreme opposite. Like in this case, since it's a red 8, I would picture a black card, maybe a spade or a club, and definitely a picture card. As you are saying these remarks to your audience, they will look at you, maybe even shake their head. You chose a club, didn't you? And of course, they will start shaking their head. You say, yes, in fact, I believe it was a picture card, the King of Clubs, right? Of course, they can't help but say, no, I didn't think so, and there is a result. A nice, funny handling using the key card principle. That is, what is he talking about?